Let's start the show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Triangle Defense Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Ortega.
I'm Jonathan King.
And we finally did it, guys. This is the last night of sleep that we will get without NBA basketball. It was a long offseason, so many storylines, narratives, moves,
Stupid,
all of
pointless
that.
shit.
Yeah, a whole lot of that. I feel like more than any other offseason that I've ever seen. But we finally made it, guys, and tomorrow we will have NBA basketball. And, we're just going to do it today. We're going to give our rankings for this upcoming season, see where we're putting each team where. I mean, if you guys want to see where we're putting your favorite team at, you want to complain about it, whatever, let us know in the comments. But before we get into that, John, I have a quick question for you, a little intro topic here.
Go for it. I love your questions.
Who was your first favorite NBA player?
Probably Rajon Rondo.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first actual memories I have that's not just following stars or games or whatever of the NBA is that 2009 Celtics Bulls series.
And you came out of that liking Rondo?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's. I don't remember it too well, but I remember them talking about Pierce because he closed games, he scored for them and stuff like that. I remember them mentioning Garnett, Ray Allen, obviously, but the announcers, if I remember correctly, the announcers didn't shut the hell up about how smart Rondo was and how good a player he was at his age. And there were moments where he gave the Bulls fits, if I remember correctly. Because he was
I remember watching the series.
He had a better crossover back then. He could get to the hole back then. He could set up guys. Excellent passer, more active, played more minutes, just seemed more active back then. And obviously there's the big three, but Rondo being a part of that team was, he was a big part of those Celtics teams.
Oh yeah, he was so important. Yeah.
When it's all said and done, you could say that Rondo is going to be a Celtic, remembered as a Celtic. I think
he should be. Yeah, 100%. Because he peaked at a very young age. After that, he didn't do a whole lot in Dallas. I know him and Rick Carlisle butted heads.
They love each other. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. His time in Chicago is kind of forgettable. I mean, he went down with that injury.
He had those 2 games against the Celtics where he was calling out defense and stuff, and then the Bulls imploded like they always do.
Yeah, I mean, he went down with injury too. Yeah, and then I think he's gone to the Kings, the Pelicans,
Clippers, Lakers.
Was he on the Hawks briefly?
I want to say he was on the Hawks, maybe. I don't know if he played at all, but he was there.
Yeah, he was on the Hawks. No, he did play. Yeah, because that was just last season.
I barely. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. No, I definitely didn't. Walk out of that. I was salty after that series, so I didn't walk out of that liking.
And favorite player, I don't really have a favorite player now. It was Goran Dragic for a bit, just because I love I love the way Goran Dragic plays basketball. His play style is just so much fun. Like normally, the player I watched the most and if I tune into a game, seeing LeBron still is appointment television because of how smart he is, how dominant he is, and he always does cool shit. But favorite player, I guess Goran Dragic. I gotta find a new one maybe. What was yours?
Yeah. My first favorite player. So this goes back to.
Can I try to guess it?
Yeah, but you won't get it right.
Was it a Bull?
No.
Okay, no, I won't try then.
Yeah, because my second favorite player was Derrick Rose. So
I was gonna say you seem like a Ben Gordon kind of guy.
I did like Ben Gordon. I
don't know why
I really
did that vibe, but it seems like young Alex Ortega was tuning into games, seeing John Salmons and Ben Gordon and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Ben Gordon actually was my guy back then.
Yeah.
And then Derrick Rose kind of took that role in Chicago, and I became a huge Derrick Rose fan. But my first favorite player, and this goes back to my first real exposure. No, I'm not a Bucks. I'm not a Bucks guy. My first real exposure to basketball was my friend had 2K2 on the GameCube.
Who was on the cover of that one?
Allen Iverson.
Okay, a year late, kind of, for his finals run, or was that the one?
That was right after the finals run.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So we would play 2K2, and Allen Iverson was his favorite player. So he would run with the Sixers, And I kind of just I would play with the Bulls a little bit, but there was nobody really on that team.
They were
You know,
ass.
I just would mess around with a couple of different teams. I didn't know anything about basketball,
Eddie
but
Curry.
2K5, or I believe it was NBA Live, '05. I believe it was 2K5.
Who was on the cover of that one?
Shaq.
Shaq on
Yeah.
the Heat.
On the Heat, yeah.
On the Heat. Okay.
And Shaq was so good in that game. But I kind of started watching once I got that game. I watched basketball a little bit.
Right.
My favorite team and my favorite player. So my favorite team was the Phoenix Suns.
Naturally, they were a fun team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were. I mean, in 2005, I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
So you know, I just loved the flashy. And my favorite player was Steve Nash. So Steve Nash was my first favorite basketball player.
Safe pick.
I loved all of the, you know, fancy passing moves and all the like the 3-point shoot. Just watching them, it was exciting because it was the first team I could remember that shot 3-pointers in transition. Like legit, just watching them just run up and down the floor like that and just let it fly. You know, there was a lot of other interesting guys on that team too. That Steve Nash made everybody better there. You know, Quentin Richardson, Joe Johnson, Amari Stoudemire, Matrix, all of that. So I loved watching
Barbosa,
that team.
Brazilian Blair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really liked playing with that team. That was my team because NBA Live '07 is the one that sticks with me the most. Like from my childhood, that one probably got the most play out of me. But yeah, no, Steve Nash was my first favorite player.
When did Shaq join the Suns? '07? Because he won a title with the Heat in '06, right? Against the Mavericks.
I believe he joined the Suns in '08. Because that came before the Celtics run.
And before the Cavs Shaq.
Yeah, Cavs Shaq was okay. I want to say it went Heat, Cavs, Suns, Celtics because he didn't get to the Celtics. He didn't win a ring with Boston, so they won it in what 2008.
Yeah.
So I believe he
was on the Cavs that season. I think how I'm gonna look this up now because you got me all confused. I want to say it went all time. It went Magic, Lakers, Heat, Suns, Cavs, Celtics.
So did he end his career in Boston?
Okay, so he only played 2 seasons in Phoenix, I guess only, you know.
Yeah.
But from '04, so I guess the timeline goes 03 Lakers had, you know, Karl Malone and Gary Payton. They lose. He goes signs with the Heat. He's on the Heat for 4 seasons until '07, then gets traded, I guess, mid-season to Phoenix. And I think that was I'm trying to think of who was a part of that trade. But then he plays another full season with Phoenix in '08, and then goes to the Cavs in '09, then the Celtics in 2010, where he didn't really play and didn't do a whole lot because he was fat and out of shape.
Yeah. But we've gone on a whole tangent right here. But that inspired me too. If you guys want to hear us react to trades, because I don't remember what Shaq was traded for. Like, what was Shaq's trade value in '08? You don't have to look it up right now either. But
he did that whole Jabberwockies thing when he got to Phoenix.
Yeah,
you seen that? So pretty. They must have been moderately excited. Did they get rid of? He didn't play with Stoudemire there, did he? Or did he? I don't think he.
No, Stoudemire was still there. Because
he was still on the team.
He didn't get traded to New York until like 2011.
Oh, okay, you're right. Yeah,
but yeah, we've gone on a whole tangent. Getting back on topic. So moving on from
he did Kazam in '96.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we've gone on a tangent, but getting back to the original topic of today's video, we're going to go through both conferences and rank both teams. We're going to be starting at the top of the conference for both of them. So for the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, who do you have, John?
Well, real quick, what do you make of the East as a conference in comparison to previous years, maybe?
The days of the East being looked at as weak and all that, I think are done. The East is very deep. I mean, it was pretty hard. It was harder, I think, to put together the because, I mean, it's clearly top-heavy. There's only 2 teams that I look at as legitimate contenders.
Well, top-heavy in the sense that, there are, I think, 2 legit contenders. There's a few teams that could squeak by and some, injuries happen or whatever that could make the finals. But in terms of maybe jumping ahead, comparing it to the West, like the amount of playoff caliber teams that there are in the East, I think
Right.
there's like
Yeah.
11 of them.
Yeah.
I
No.
think
No.
there's
Definitely.
11 teams that I count that are
That's why the play,
like
like figuring out the play in for this
yeah,
was harder than the West, I think, for
yeah.
sure. But yeah, no, moving on then to who we have at the top of the conference. Who'd you pick for this one, John?
I got Milwaukee.
I'm going with the Bucks too.
Yeah, I think. Did you get the sense that Brooklyn? You know, some teams would lose in the conference finals and have a chip on their shoulder and go all out during the season and try to prove it. I don't really get that sense from Brooklyn. I think they have KD, who's won titles. They have Harden, who's won MVPs. They kind of have Kyrie, I guess, who's
Yeah.
won a title and has been deep in the playoffs before. They don't strike me as a team who realizes that who doesn't realize that the regular season doesn't really matter as long as they get a high seed.
Right.
Like they're going to coast a lot. They're going to get a high seed, but Milwaukee strikes me as a team that is always going to try to go for all out. Giannis doesn't take games off. So
No, exactly. I mean, the Bucks have for the last like 4 seasons. They've been a really good regular season team.
yeah,
So and they try really hard. I mean, they have a lot of people that go out there and grind. Like guys like Giannis, who, like you said, doesn't take days off. Drew
yeah,
Holiday. Other guys with chips on their shoulders still, maybe like Chris Middleton or Dante DiVincenzo or guys like that. But it was pretty easy for me to put the Bucks
I think
Bucks at number one.
yeah, and especially it's not saying that we're they're going to go to the finals. It's just saying that
Right.
in the regular season, number one seed. Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say it's still Milwaukee.
Yeah, for sure. And then, that brings us to, I think we made it pretty clear who our number 2 team is.
Yeah, I picked Brooklyn.
It's the Brooklyn Nets. I don't know how interested they are in being a good regular season team.
Kyrie sure isn't.
Yeah, that's for sure. But when you have Kevin Durant and 2 of the top 10 players in the NBA,
is it time to talk about Kyrie Irving in the regular season? What's going on with him? Do you think it matters if he plays and it affects their season standings that much? I don't think so.
No, I think even if because Kyrie wasn't going to play a full season anyway. When's the last time Kyrie played a full season?
Well, but getting him for half the games and getting him for 65-70% of the games is a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I mean,
what's the rule? He can't play home games, or he can't play.
He's not going to play at all.
At all? Yeah. Well,
because they don't want to mess the chemistry up.
Right. That's a Nets decision, I guess. But originally it was going to be he couldn't play home games, and now they're not letting him play at all because if he.
But I think
it's a weird precedent.
I think that was absurd because it could have been Game 7 of the NBA Finals at home, and Kyrie would have been out. Not injured, not anything going on. He would have
the Anthony Davis special
street clothes.
Yeah,
exactly. So, like I said, I don't know how interested they are in being a good regular season team. I still imagine them winning somewhere between 50, 60 games. Because there's going to be nights where it's going to be just Harden and some role players if KD's taking some time off, and then vice versa. KD
and we've seen Harden take role players and beat the crap out of teams. It's no mystery. He's not a stranger to that. And in fact, there's going to be games where it's Harden scores 35, KD scores 35, and then the Nets win by whatever. And some role player, Joe Harris, scores 20, and that's all you need.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel pretty confident in putting them at the 2 seed, and this isn't to say that Milwaukee's going to go to the finals or beat them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just don't think they have a lot of interest in being a good regular season
team. Is LaMarcus Aldridge on the Nets right now? He's back with them. He unretired because of his condition or whatever.
Yep.
And so I can't see him getting that many big minutes. Do you see him being a factor this season? Really? He was a good player in San Antonio, and then he went to Brooklyn and just sort of.
I think he will because right now their center rotation. I know they were running Blake at the center for a little bit. They were running Nick Claxton.
Jeff Green though.
Jeff Green's
no longer on the team.
Oh yeah, they had Jeff Green.
They had him. They were using Jeff Green as a center, which is just fun and surprising. But
I think Aldridge will get time when they need to. Guard somebody. Because, a guy like Embiid, he's going to throw Nick Claxton around. And, Blake Griffin can't. size-wise, he can't hang with Embiid too. So I think he'll be valuable when you're playing a player like Embiid who you have to guard him with size and length. But I don't imagine him, starting or anything like that.
Yeah. You want to move on?
Yeah, moving on. This is where I'm going to get a little cheeky here, and I want to see who you have at the 3 seed.
I want to preface your pick and my pick by saying this is obviously where the drop off happens.
Yeah, it's the Bucks and the Nets, and everybody else is
and
down here.
I think in this tier that could get the 3 seed, there's like 5-ish teams,
and I think there's like moving on from here to like the 8 seed. I think the difference between the 3 and like the 7 seed could be like 3 games. Like, I think the margins are going to be very, very close.
Yeah, I'll let you pick first, but I just want to say that my pick was sort of just guessing.
Okay.
It was I didn't love this team. I'm not like they're way better than everyone else.
Right.
Sort of low on them compared to the consensus. But who'd you pick?
My pick for the 3 seed is the team that is going to have the 2022 MVP. It's the Boston Celtics.
Shit. Oh, my God. I should have seen that coming.
I'm going with the Celtics.
Oh, my God.
Celtics are going to get the 3 seed. Tatum wins his MVP, and they get bounced.
And then you'll wake up, and none of it will be real.
And they get bounced in the second round by the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. My reasoning for this, like I said, I don't think any player is more motivated than Dennis Schroeder going into the season. You have Dennis Schroeder, Marcus Smart doing Marcus Smart things. Jaylen Brown maybe takes another leap too. I really, really love Jaylen Brown. Yeah, I really love Jaylen Brown. I don't see why not. I really love Jaylen Brown's game. Great defender. As long as he keeps, and he's improved as a 3-point shooter, and
how's that front court looking though?
You're going with because I run Tatum at the 4.
Yeah, which I guess makes sense now. I wasn't a huge fan of that when they started doing that, but out of necessity, it kind of works. And he's big enough now where he can not get destroyed defensively. Yeah.
And then at the center position, you're going to have Time Lord Robert Williams at the 5, and then Al Horford's going to be his backup.
Not a lot of size in that front court. That's the thing.
Yeah, Robert Williams is underside. To where
they run into Clint Capella in Atlanta,
That's why I mentioned that I can see Horford closing a lot of games when you do have to throw size. Like I said, at Embiid or Capella or Bam Adebayo or anybody like that. So I think Horford's kind of like that guy they have in the back pocket, like just in case. But I like them, and then their bench as well too. Peyton Pritchard, like I say, Al Horford.
Grant Williams.
He sucks.
I haven't seen him play. I know he gets minutes.
Yeah, no, but they're not. They're
smart
not
guy. NBA Players Association vice president or some shit.
Right. They're not a very good player though. But I have Boston at the 3 seed. Who do you have?
Like I said earlier, a lot of people looked at Atlanta's run to the conference finals and took that as a sign that they're making some big leap. I don't buy it. I think they're a solid team, and I have them as my 3 seed. But I think they're about as good as the next 3 teams that follow. I just think that they slot well into the 3 seed. I think Trae Young maybe takes another leap and gets the guys going. They just have a really complete team, and it seems like they have a chip on their shoulder still.
And
it seems like they want to compete.
Watch out for Trae Young as scoring champ too.
Right. Yeah. No,
I can definitely see that happening.
With 9-10 assists, like he'll be an engine. He'll be like a James Harden type guy. He's got Capella as lob threats. Reddish is all their core is young. Herter, Reddish, Hunter. Like their main wing guys are pretty young, where they could still improve. Reddish especially, Hunter especially.
Right. And you have a couple vets on the wing too, Bogey, Gallinari,
Lou Will,
yeah.
I forgot about Bogdanovich. Yeah, he's good, and he's like 26, 25, something like that.
I believe so.
Why not? I like Atlanta. They seem like they're hungry, have a chip on their shoulder. Nate McMillan, he wasn't coaching all of last season.
Yeah, I
Remember
was
that?
gonna say a full season with Nate McMillan. Yeah, no,
Exactly, and they still went on a run and still grabbed they were the 4 seed, right? Not 5th seed.
they were
The 5th seed.
were they the 5th seed? Yeah, they
Yeah,
were because
they
yeah,
were because the
the
first
Knicks were
2
the 4th
games were
seed.
in New
Yeah.
York.
Hmm.
Yeah, so the 5th seed when Lloyd Pierce coached however many games, like 20, something like that, maybe a little
Something like
less.
that. Yeah.
And so yeah, why not? You take those 20 games, give them to Nate McMillan, give them to a better team, and they take the 3 seed.
Yeah, I actually I don't mind that pick.
Yeah.
I think I might have actually had them originally as my 3 seed. Well, I've changed this a little bit throughout, but interesting. Yeah, no,
And it's
I
a
could
trendy
100%
pick.
see that happening.
I think
Right.
people pick them to make some noise because they did last season. I think the Suns are the same way, where people see the finals run, the run of the finals they made, and assume that like that's the floor and their trajectory is going to go up and up. But really getting
Mm,
there, and especially Atlanta getting there, was they had to have a lot of things go right, including a Ben Simmons meltdown.
right. Yeah, and
So it's not to say
Embiid
that they
played bad
won't
too.
go back to the conference finals, but it's as far as regular season goes, I'm very comfortable with having them with the third best team in the East.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that pick. And
Yeah.
moving on to the 4th seed, who do you have here? This is the team that I picked is a little bit of a question mark, but I want to see who you have.
I think I know who you picked, but I think I went different route. I went with Miami
Okay.
because I think they have guys who you hear all the time. You hear about heat culture, and people exemplify that, like Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, and I guess that translates to caring about the regular season.
Right.
I
Yeah.
know Spoelstra likes to experiment, and there's a lot to experiment with on this team. PJ Tucker is on the Heat now.
Right.
They have those three white wings of Miami,
Tyler Hero,
Robinson,
Strus, and
Harrow, and Max Strus. But
mhm.
Harrow, I think, is almost to the point where he's overrated by casual fans, but underrated by NBA fanatics, I think.
Because he's been playing really good in. I think he averaged like 22 points in the preseason.
And he averaged 15 a game last year on really good efficiency all around the board. He
Right.
scores. That's what he does, and I think he's really good
Exactly.
at it. And I think people forget that. And he's really young and everything. And Duncan Robinson is Duncan Robinson. He's a lights out shooter.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so I have no problem with Miami at the 4. They seem like
Interesting.
a hungry team again. I think the new jumping foul shoot what is it, jumping
Yeah.
foul rules are going to hurt Jimmy
Mhm.
a little bit because that was
Yeah.
like
Probably.
exclusively his offense at some points last season. But
Yeah. Exactly.
they're a team that hustles their ass off, and that usually translates to a few extra grinded out wins in the regular season.
Hmm.
Yeah,
The team that I had at the 4th seed, like I said, I mean, I kind of figure you know where I was going with this when I said
I think
question
so.
mark. It's the Philadelphia 76ers.
Yeah,
This team was the 1 seed last year, and it looks like Ben Simmons might be coming back.
in peculiar circumstances. Yeah, obviously.
So I mean, they're essentially running it back with the same team. So I think I mean I was considering giving them the 3 seed, but I think the same team with Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, uh, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Embiid,
Maxey, Tybal.
Maxey, Tybal, Paul Reed,
Yeah, they lost
Andre Drummond.
George Hill, and that's about it, right?
Yeah, but I mean Maxey is gonna probably give you the same production that
Yeah.
George Hill was giving. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the 76ers. I believe that, and even if they do end up trading back, because I didn't want to give them the 1 or 2 or 3 seed again, because even if Ben Simmons comes back, I think it might be kind of awkward, and I
Well,
don't know
that
how
and
much he's going to be into it.
Doc Rivers made a comment today, I think, that said he wasn't in game shape yet, which is, yeah,
Right.
he wasn't. The full quotes was something along the lines of, he's well conditioned, but he's not quite in shape
Right.
physically to play a game, which is
Weird.
peculiar.
Right.
And
But I
it
still
begs
think
questions about how ready Ben Simmons is going to be physically and mentally for the NBA season.
right. And then even without Ben Simmons, I mean, Embiid is a top 10 player. Tobias Harris is
When
criminally
he's healthy.
underrated. Yeah, when he's healthy. Yeah. But I
Yeah.
mean, going into the season, I mean, you don't have, because I mean, going into the season, he'll be healthy and whatever Ben Simmons might be gone for. Let's say Embiid goes down for a few games and they trade Simmons and get, Malcolm Brogdon and T.J. Warren or something like that. I think
Yeah.
they could still turn out to be. I wouldn't put them past the lower than the 4 seed. Me personally, because like I said, Embiid is still a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
And then there's good pieces around that. And then moving on to my 5 seed, I'm gonna go with the Heat. And the reason I just kind of had those two right there, like I said, I think it might be a difference of like a game, but the Heat are aging. Jimmy, I mean,
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry is maybe like 36 years old. Damn
He's
near at
over
this
the hill.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're aging for sure. A couple injury issues. With Victor Oladipo, and I believe I don't think I think Bam is fine, but yeah, no,
Bam is
just
not. He's aging, but he's not old. So.
right, yeah. But when it comes to I mean, the rest of the team, like I said, is aging. I mean, Jimmy is probably pushing like 33 at this
Yeah.
point. PJ Tucker
He's got some
is,
miles on him too.
and then same thing
Him
with
and
PJ.
Tucker, and those Houston teams, they ran him worked him like a dog.
Right.
They would throw him in like 40 minutes a game at the 5 and just
Even
be
their
like, all right.
bench guys are old too. Like Markieff Morris, Dwayne Dedman, guys like that. So yeah, no, just with that, I feel like the injuries might start to come up. Whether it be
Lost Kendrick
Lowry,
Nunn.
lost Kendrick Nunn. Yeah, Kendrick. That was a underrated move right there. I mean, like I think there's going to be points of the season where they're going to miss that because I mean he was a better ball handler than and passer than Tyler Hero was.
Yeah,
I mean he can't shoot as well. He couldn't shoot a lick, but yeah, no, yeah, that's why I'm going to put them at the 5 seed. Like I said, it might be a difference of a game, but who did you have at the 5 seed?
I had Philly, so we sort of flip flopped.
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
And I think I don't know. Historically, Philly's a circus right now.
Yeah.
Really just a mess, and I think that's gonna seep through. If they start losing some games early and Simmons plays, I mean the media is already gonna dog them, but they are gonna be under so much fucking pressure to succeed with or without Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
And Simmons, who's supposed to be their second or third best player, is the biggest question mark in the league right now. Maybe
exactly.
Besides maybe Kyrie. I mean, is he in shape? Does he want to play? Is he showing up just so he doesn't get salary docked? Like he specifically said a few months ago, he doesn't want to play for the franchise. He's now checking in to try to play games. He's not. He doesn't want to play for the team, presumably.
Yeah, he called their bluff.
Forced to.
Yeah, he called their bluff for real.
That's a team that's not a recipe for success. Like they're a talented team and everything, but if you have a shit storm like that going on, and outside of Ben Simmons, regular season they're an okay team. They're a good team. I'll say that. Embiid will have a stretch where he's hurt, and Doc Rivers will have some weird lineups, and he'll experiment a little too much maybe.
Right.
I just think they take a step back and maybe surprise people in the playoffs. But like, if something happens to Simmons where he doesn't play or he looks like he doesn't want to play, then like, how can I put them ahead of these teams that everyone's on board and they have improved and they have this culture?
Understandable. I mean, I can hear that. I mean, maybe this is just me liking Philly. That's the reason I put them over the Heat. But moving on to the 6 seed, I'm going to go with the team that you had at the 3 seed. I'm going to go with the Hawks at the 6 seed. Okay. And like I said, the same thing. I think this could be the difference of maybe 1 or 2 games right behind whatever the 3 seed is. But yeah, honestly, I think maybe that new rule could hurt Trae Young as well too.
Well, a little bit. He's not.
Maybe
he's
a little
not.
Bit,
yeah. I mean, it'll be less noticeable, but it's not like he was flopping his way to 30 points a game. What you think he's going to be like 5 points a game?
He's not going to lose all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with the Hawks at the 6 seed. I think this is going to rely on Nate McMillan having a good season too. We got to see what happens with an entire year of Nate McMillan. We'll see how things go on with. I mean, this is a team that didn't really add any pieces or anything like that. They're kind of just running it back with the same squad, right? I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody got moved. Yeah. I think Capella is a little overrated at this point for what he does. In the modern NBA.
He's valuable.
Yeah, I mean
he's the best lob threat in the league. which helps Trae Young. Who's a better lob threat than Clint Capella? You put
Better.
him in a pick and roll with Trae Young, it's deadly. There was times where they just pick and roll you to death, and Trae Young just either scores or he lobs it to Capella, and no one's stopping him. You know?
Yeah. I mean,
who's a better lob threat than Clint Capella right now? Tell me.
I mean, AD is a pretty dangerous lob threat too.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I mean, I would probably go with Anthony Davis.
Okay.
But I'll listen to that Capella. I mean, that's something that Capella does obviously exceed at that. I mean, it's defense and catching lobs, essentially. But yeah, I mean, I don't have too much reasoning for this. Like I said, I think.
An aside here, I'm really sad that my Clint Capella nickname hasn't caught on. He's from Switzerland. I don't know if you knew that, but
yeah, I knew that,
call him the Big Cheese.
Huh.
Yeah. Come on, like
that's not gonna stick, sir.
How many Swiss players are in the NBA? And
None
he's
that
big
I know
man.
of,
So
other than Capella.
yeah,
Who'd you have for your 6 seed?
I had I was juggling between two teams, and I went with Boston.
Okay, so my 3 seed is your 6 seed, and your 3 seed is my 6 seed.
Yeah, I don't love it, but maybe Ime Udoka rejuvenates them a little more than Stevens was able to.
Right. I think just having a new face, just a new voice for the team could be really valuable as well too.
Yeah, I don't have a lot to say about them though. Boston's been Boston for the past couple of years. They haven't really
exactly.
Yeah.
And moving on to the 7 seed, I think we have the same team.
I think we do. Yeah.
It's the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
I'm not confident enough to put them because I mean when I heard the Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan moves, immediately my mind said 3 seed. 3-4 seed, and then I've kind of, like you said,
look at the teams ahead of them though, and it's like
exactly that's
they're
the thing.
They're just more complete, I think.
Right, the East is just so deep right now to where, like I said, I don't think they're better than Atlanta. I don't think they're better than Miami. I don't think they're better than Boston. All that just going off of the personnel, but I mean they're still going to be a good team as well too, and I'll accept the 7 seed. I'll take that as a win, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I clearly like a lot of the moves that they made this summer. Maybe they overpaid on DeMar DeRozan. Maybe they gave Lonzo Ball too much money or whatever. But
a lot of firepower, though.
Exactly. Yeah, I love what Lonzo brings to the team right now too. Just going to be the primary guard defender to kind of take some of that off of Zach LaVine. So whenever they get to the playoffs and they have to play teams like the Nets or teams like the Heat or anything like that, he'll be the primary guy that they stick on people like I almost said Kyrie, James Harden, or or Trae Young or anybody like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because LaVine's been scoring so well the past couple seasons with a bunch of nobodies feeding on the ball. Now he's got Lonzo Ball, he's got Alex Caruso.
Who's a great playmaker.
A lot less pressure off him.
And this is LaVine's contract year too, so this guy's going to want a max deal, so he's going to be playing his ass off.
And they'll give it. He'll get one, whether it's from Chicago or elsewhere.
For sure.
No questions asked. Exactly. But defensively, I think maybe the woes are overstated. A lot of people are saying like, "Oh, what about defense?" I think they'll be okay defensively. I really do.
I don't know, man.
On paper, I don't think they look great, obviously, but I think defensively they'll be okay.
I don't know if Patrick Williams is quite ready to be the primary wing defender on that team. He's gonna get the Kevin Durant assignment. He's gonna get the Jason Tatum assignment. He's gonna get the Giannis assignment like that. I don't know. I mean, I like P. Will as a defender, but I think he's a few years away from, because I've heard people wanting to call him like similar. I mean, obviously not as good, but like a Kawhi Leonard type guy.
Kawhi, yeah.
And I don't see it yet. I mean, Kawhi was ready by his second season. I mean, he was guarding LeBron James in the NBA Finals, his second or third season, and that was a matchup that I was fine watching. I felt confident in that, but I don't think Patrick Williams is that guy yet.
Yeah, I don't know if I do either. He's like 20 or something. He's really, really young. I think maybe DeRozan or someone else helps out on the wing there. Obviously, they they played Javonte Green there a little bit in the preseason.
Mm.
And yeah, it's whatever. I think they'll be okay defensively. I think their offense will make up for it. Not to say that they'll be great defensively, but they could be a top 5 offense, and that helps definitely.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
And
and then, I mean,
if anything, they'll be entertaining.
exactly, and then Alex Caruso brings some defense as well on that team.
Dirty work guy, yeah.
Exactly, but I mean, I just have worries defensively and all that, and that's why I think the 7 seed will be fine. To put them there, and then moving on to the 8 seed, this is where things got pretty hard, and there was
Definitely
4 different teams that I could have put at the 8 seed.
I think we probably have the same one, but go ahead.
I'm going with the Indiana Pacers.
Okay, we don't have the same one.
So who do you have?
I have the Knicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
My reasoning, so I have the Knicks as my 9 seed, and the reason that I put the Pacers over that
Indiana
is
is my 9
because
seed.
just going off of health, this is going to be a season of having a healthy Malcolm Brogdon. Karis LeVert didn't really play last season either. So having
you better knock on wood right now for all the Indiana fans
having a healthy Karis LeVert.
This will be a healthy season.
I believe TJ Warren was out the majority of the season. Miles
Turner
always
only played 50-ish games. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think having those guys back and healthy, and having one of the best bench units in the NBA, between
having
TJ
one
McConnell,
of the best coaches.
Yeah, exactly. NBA. And then Rick Carlisle is a clear upgrade at the coach as well too. So I
Can
feel
we talk
good.
about Nate Bjorkgren?
Nate Bjorkgren, yeah.
The fact that how they literally wanted to fight him, physically, and they hated him, and Goga Batadze hated him publicly, and he almost fought. I think it was Greg. Was it Greg Foster or Greg Ost? One of those Gregs in Utah. And that whole ugly thing. Yeah, they have Rick Carlisle now. So they don't have to worry about Nate Bjorkgren, who was basically like a Jim Boylan light.
Yeah, no, pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So having their main guys healthy and just having a night and day upgrade
competent coach.
I feel good putting the Pacers at the 8 seed. And the 9 seed, I'm gonna go with the Knicks. I like some of the moves that they made. Obviously getting Kemba. I think $8 million a year, getting Evan Fournier. But I think Julius Randle is only going to go down from here.
I agree. I think he's going to regress. I think it's inevitable.
I think
it's inevitable that he becomes worse from 3, because his last season was crazy good, crazy efficient, and it was a bit of an outlier. I think he'll regress. But I do think Barrett will take a leap. Maybe he'll be better.
So will those even each other out pretty much?
Maybe not. I also think New York as a whole went on a run that maybe they won't be able to replicate this year.
Yeah, exactly. They were the surprise team last year, but I think they go back to being the Knicks now at this point.
I think so. Yeah, I think you might be right. I had them in the 8 seed just because I think Barrett quickly, Mitch Robinson maybe takes a leap. And that makes up for the fact that Randall, they have Fournier, they have Rose, they have Kemba Walker, who maybe returns to form. That's also a possibility. You can't rule that out, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I'm a huge fan of Kemba or anything, but I think people are treating him like he's trash or something. He's okay.
Yeah, for real. Yeah,
so sure. That's good, and that's good enough to be the 8 seed. Indiana consistency issues come up. I think they're not always healthy.
Right.
They don't have an identity, really. Maybe that changes with Carlisle. It struck me as interesting that Carlisle seemed to jump at the Indiana job. He didn't really wait around, I don't think, and he signed a 4-year deal. Maybe he liked the roster. Maybe he wanted to play for an organization like Indiana. But
yeah, no, definitely. Moving on to my 10 seed then. I have the Washington Wizards.
Oh, okay.
I think they're pretty deep. They're a pretty deep team, but I have kind of some worries defensively between, Bradley Beal, Montrezl Harrell.
My main worry about them is that they're the Washington Wizards.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say I have issues defensively between Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, all that. They're a deep team, but I mean, they're just, if you look up and down at the roster, they're not very good.
They have they have a bunch of guys I don't know how they're going to respond. Like Rui Hachimura is a cool guy. Bradley Beal is one of the best scorers in the NBA, obviously. Then you have guys like Denny Avdija, Corey Kispert,
Hmm.
Daniel Gafford, who are really, really young and should
Exactly.
produce right away, should score. I haven't seen much of Avdija, but he's
Rui's on this team too.
right. Rui Hachimura. Mura, I guess it's pronounced.
Right.
Um, but whatever. Like
Yeah, and I mean, I don't like I said, I have
Wes
between.
Unseld's kid coaching the team. I don't know what he's made of. Rookie
Oh yeah,
coach.
because Scott Brooks is out, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
no, exactly. I mean,
Wes Unseld Jr.
rookie coach as well too. I don't know. I don't. I'll put him in the play-in, but I don't have a lot of faith in that. Who do you have at the 10 seed?
I have Toronto.
That's surprising because you don't like them.
I don't either. I really don't like Toronto. If there's one franchise in the NBA, mainly account on their fan base, I don't like Toronto. But Nick
I,
Nurse has proven that he can coach up the team. He's a
so
pretty damn good coach.
I have them at my 11 seed
Yeah.
because I don't see Scotty Barnes being all that great this season. I don't see him
He'll
having a
be
huge role.
okay. I have him. He's going to get minutes.
He's going to get
But
minutes. Obviously, you don't draft him
yeah,
at the fourth pick to not get minutes. But I mean, I don't
yeah,
really see him playing a huge part on this team. And then Siakam's already hurt. And then
yeah.
Siakam, I know his relationship with Nick Nurse isn't great too. I think he cussed him out last season and he got fined for it.
Did he?
Yeah, he got fined for something. He had some kind of altercation with Nick Nurse. So I mean, there's
Okay.
talks about Siakam getting moved to. Um, Goran Dragic isn't going to finish the season there
Right.
or anything. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I think this is a team that they're probably going to, like I said, not be great, get in the lottery, and get another top pick like that, and then next year will be the year that they really want to figure it all out.
Yeah, they're kind of a weird team too. They have a bunch of good guys. I guess I'm buying into more of them having a bounce back year. They played in Tampa last year.
Right.
They
Yeah.
were getting booed at their home games by like Knicks fans because there's a bunch of Knicks
Yeah.
fans down in Southern Florida. But they have a bunch of good guys in the team. Precious Achua, I'm pretty high on.
Really.
Gary Trent Jr.
I like Gary
You
Trent
think
Jr.
OG Anunoby is going to take a leap?
Yeah. Yeah.
Fred Van Vliet. I think Scotty Barnes will contribute, but who knows? They have Chris Boucher, who's pretty good.
Who'd you have at your 11 seed then?
I had Charlotte, who I think could easily make the
Over
playoffs.
Washington?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
My problem with Charlotte is I want that team to be good. I really, really want that team
yeah,
to be good. I love LaMelo, but I mean, there's gonna be Gordon Hayward's gonna get something's gonna happen to Gordon Hayward. Like we already know this at this
yeah.
point. And, all of that. I don't like their big man rotation. Some of their wings are good at certain things, but not really.
Yeah, Miles
great
Bridges
at
is pretty
others.
good. PJ Washington, Kelly Oubre.
Kelly Oubre,
They
yeah.
obviously have the two guards, Rozier and Ball, who are pretty
Yeah,
good.
but they're lacking wing defense as well too. And like I said, I
Yeah,
mean, though, like guys like PJ Washington or Miles Bridges, they're okay. I mean, they're some of the most okay players in the NBA, but I don't know. Like I said, this is a team that I want to be good, but I don't see it just yet. But
I
moving on
think they'll be
to
all right.
moving on to my 12
Yeah,
seed, though, I have the Cavs. This is a team I think I'm still putting over Charlotte too. I really like, you know how I feel about Darius Garland, and I
yeah,
think him and Colin Sexton is a pretty nice duo. They have a lot of other interesting pieces here too. Between Isaac Okoro, being one of the best young
I
defenders
like
in the
Okoro.
NBA
Yeah,
currently. I like Isaac Okoro a lot. Laurie Marketing for whatever that's worth at this point. Just spacing the floor and all that. I mean, he's not worth shit
yeah,
on defense, but that's why you have Jared Allen there. Jared Allen's
right.
quietly like a top 10 center in the NBA.
Yeah, got paid a lot.
So I like some of the pieces over there in Cleveland, and that's why I'll put them at my 12 seed. What about you?
That's not a bad pick. You kind of swayed me. They do have that really good guard rotation, but
Mm-hmm.
they're Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I picked Washington at 12.
Okay.
I'm not as high in Washington as you are. They did lose Russ, but who knows how many games he won or lost for them. But
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
like they're a great team, and I don't think they have that much talent.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that they're deep, but the problem is that talent's just not that great.
Yeah, I don't think the Washington Wizards will do much, to be honest.
Yeah. So my 13 seed was actually the Hornets then, for reasons that I stated earlier.
Yeah,
What about
I have
you?
Cleveland.
Okay.
Just
Fair.
because the last two teams are pretty bad.
Yeah. I was gonna say at the 14 seed, I have the Pistons.
Yep.
They made a lot of weird moves, bringing in a guy like Kelly Olynyk. But I think they should probably trade Jeremy Grant. I don't see
You
much
do.
reason for. I mean, he's getting past the point to where he might not. I mean, he's still a young player, but I don't think he completely fits the timeline of guys like Cade Cunningham and Sadiq Bey and Killian Hayes and all of that. So I would honestly look to make a move and get Jeremy Grant out of there. And
Yeah,
a lot of teams would uh,
his
give up a lot
value
of
is
stuff for
pretty
him.
damn high right now. I'm not a huge fan of matching up timelines and stuff like that, just because I think if those guys make a leap, like Cade turns out to be a star in his first season, and Sadiq Bey stays hot, and some of their Killian Hayes turns out to be a competent NBA player, then their playoff window will come up faster than they think. And I think a guy like Jeremy Grant will also help with getting free agents there.
Right.
He'll just improve the floor of the team, and I think that's important for a rebuilding team. I'm not a huge fan of tearing out the studs and completely having this shit roster and then hoping that they all sort of
Right.
progress together, because it doesn't always happen. If
Wait,
Cunningham,
so was Detroit your 14 seed too?
yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
You know how I feel about Orlando, probably. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say my 15 seed then is the Orlando Magic. Their priority isn't winning basketball games this season. They're just trying to develop
Nothing about them is winning basketball games.
No, they're just trying to develop the young talent. Get another hope maybe top 5 pick or something like that. Keep piling the picks on, and maybe they'll be good. I mean, I feel like we get a good Magic team every maybe decade or so, and they're building
they're overdue,
towards
I
that.
guess, then, if that's the case. But
I mean that team that went to the finals, but that was really it. But yeah, I mean, not much to say about them. They're very young,
and they're not trying to win either. They know how bad they are. Terrence Ross knows.
I was gonna say
knows.
they're gonna ship out Terrence Ross, Markel.
Who's their GM? Jeff Weltman or whatever. Yeah, Jeff Weltman's ass. He knows it.
Yeah, Steve Clifford's man.
He's ass. He knows it. Yeah. They're all terrible. If you're in Orlando, you already know what's happening, which is not much.
Right.
So,
yeah. No.
Sorry to the 12 Orlando Magic fans out there.
Exactly. Yeah. No, not a lot to say about them. But moving on to the Western Conference rankings, then too. Who'd you have at the top of the West?
Pretty chalk pick, I think. I had Utah.
I have Utah as well.
Yeah, they're just in regular season, especially. They don't take games off. Like I said with Milwaukee, Rudy Gobert is a monster in the regular season. No one wants anything to do with him. He completely fucks up game plans of opposing teams that want to have any sort of offense near the paint, which is mostly every team wants to do that.
Right.
Donovan Mitchell is pretty good. Mike Conley hopefully returns to form. The better Bogdanovich is really good. Joe Ingles is really good.
Jordan Clarkson's really good.
Jordan Clarkson's going to be the sixth man of the year again. Why not?
Royce O'Neal plays his part.
Yeah.
This team they got Rudy Gay as well. They have Rudy Gay as well
might
too.
Get some minutes. Yeah, Rudy Gay, Jared Butler, I like a lot. I think Jared Butler's NBA ready. He might get some minutes. I just think they're a really solid team, and Quinn Snyder is a really, really solid coach.
Yeah, I agree. I see this team winning probably like 60 games.
And the most consistent team in the West, that's probably why I have them first as well. There's not a lot of question marks with them. At least there shouldn't be. No. They have their identity. They do what they do, and the other top teams, there's a lot of maybe uncertainty, maybe something like that. So Utah is the safest pick probably.
And going back to what we said too, we both have them at the 1 seed, but do we really? I mean, I don't look at them as a real, threat.
I do.
I don't really.
I do. Yeah, I think some teams in the West, obviously, they've been sort of treading playoff water the past couple seasons. They get the 1 seed, 2 seed, and they battle it out. Usually with Denver or someone in the first round, and then second round comes and they don't really get taken seriously. I don't know. I think maybe this year they bust through and they're capable of beating some teams. It seems like it's just a matter of time. I really do. I think if they're going to do it, maybe the West is pretty weak right now where they can get it done.
Interesting. I
Like
guess
they lost to the Clippers, who aren't really a threat anymore this season. If Kawhi is, I mean, do you think Kawhi's going to come back to the playoffs? Probably.
probably, yeah.
And he probably won't be the same. He'll be in minutes restrictions, even probably in the playoffs. So they're not,
exactly. Yeah, but okay, I'm not mad at that. Like, I mean, we both have the Jazz at number one. Whether they're a real threat or not, that's beside the point.
Debatable.
Right now.
Yeah,
We'll go back to that in a few months. But moving on to the 2 seed, we probably have the same team. Who do you have?
Lakers.
Me too.
Yeah.
And the reason I gave them the 2 seed opposed to, I mean, a lot of people have them at the 1 seed. But I think the Russell Westbrook thing might take a little bit of time to figure out. Anthony Davis is made of glass, so he's going to miss his games. LeBron is aging. He's going to miss his games and all of that. So just between all of that, but I mean, there's still a very good roster.
It's still LeBron and AD being the best pick and roll in the league. And it's Russell Westbrook now who, at the very least, will give you energy.
Exactly, and then he can still. I mean, the days that LeBron or Anthony Davis are out, I mean, he can still carry you to a couple regular season wins.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about that. But I think it just might take a little bit of time. Figuring out the spacing.
Because preseason, if it's any indication, which usually it isn't, because they were, but Westbrook looked horrible.
Oh, terrible!
He
turning the ball over like
shoot.
crazy.
I don't think he will be able to. But turnovers were an issue. It's going to take a little. If that's evidence of anything, which again, preseason, whatever. If it's evidence of anything, it's going to take a little bit.
Exactly, and that's why I still feel comfortable putting them at the 2 seed. And moving on to the 3 seed, who did you have for that?
Phoenix.
I have Phoenix as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we might maybe this is the year we see the Chris Paul decline. I don't know.
Oh, you think?
Maybe.
It's bound to happen. It's got to happen one of these damn seasons where he comes out looking like an old man instead of a premier point guard in the league.
And then last season as well, too. I mean, they were healthy. They were probably like the healthiest team in the NBA. I mean, and do we really expect it to be that perfect again this season?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I think not to say that their finals run was a fluke, but getting to the finals is pretty fucking hard. And I think Phoenix probably doesn't go back just because the West is a bloodbath.
Yeah, 100%. And then, I mean, you might have an unmotivated DeAndre Ayton for whatever's going on
picked
there.
Up by a motivated McCall Bridges.
They paid Landry Shamet too. Did you see that?
No, what'd they pay him? I didn't see that.
It was. Let me see.
Big money.
4 years, $43 million. So right around
that's
10
a
million.
Good amount of money.
Right around 10 million a year for Landry Shamet, but still, like, I mean, what did they give Mikal Bridges? Like 90 mil?
I think it was 4 years. Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, something like that. But between all of that, I mean, I don't see them. Like I said, I don't see them being the 1 seed again. I don't see them going back to the final.
4 years, 90 mil.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see them being, like I said, they were the 2 seed last year, but I don't see them going back to the finals or none of that. So yeah, I mean, I have Phoenix at number 3. Who'd you have at the 4 seed?
I had. You're probably not going to like this. I had Denver.
I have Denver at 4 too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Murray's going to be out. But
yeah, between Murray being out, but Jokic is going to do Jokic things, have another MVP-like season.
Monte Morris,
Michael Porter Jr. Everybody expects Michael Porter Jr. to take a jump. Aaron Gordon.
Yeah.
They picked up Jeff Green. I like that addition as well, too.
Yeah, that's a solid team. Denver, Mike Malone's a good coach,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would have probably given them the 1 seed if Jamal Murray was there all year.
Yeah,
but,
hard place to win, Denver.
Exactly.
So. Yeah, you go up there in the air. Teams seem to fall apart sometimes in that air in the regular season at least.
Yeah. Moving on then. Who do you have at the 5 seed?
See if we have the same people. I have Dallas.
I have Golden State.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I have Golden State just based off of Steph had an amazing season last season. If Steph plays that way and you get Klay Thompson back, I mean, I don't expect Klay to be what he was pre-injuries. He's coming back from an ACL and a torn Achilles.
Yeah.
But if he
Back
still
to
shoots
back.
the ball at the efficiency that he did, and I mean, I think it's going to have the most impact on his defensive ability. But you kind of have Wiggins, who's improved as a
Yeah.
defender, to help pick up a little bit of that slack. But
And they have a shit ton of young guys that'll provide energy and stuff like that.
exactly, yeah. So this Warriors team, I don't like what they're doing at the center. I don't really have a lot of faith in James Wiseman right now.
Not
Kevon
yet. No,
Looney
there's no
is
reason to.
Kevon Looney's okay.
Yeah.
Um, some of the young guys, I mean, they're going to contribute, but I feel good putting them at the 5 seed. And maybe Draymond gets a little bit of that offensive touch that he had before, but yeah,
Offensive touch. Yeah,
I'm
maybe.
rocking with the Warriors at number 5. And wait, so you're confident that the Mavs are going to get the 5 seed?
Jason Kidd, baby, coach of the year, dark
Oh,
horse
wait,
coach of the
wait till you hear where I have them.
Okay. Oh God. Well, I mean, they're basically the same team, right? Like, what's changed about the Mavericks where they're so bad now, besides the fact that they hired a domestic abuser as a head coach who's also an idiot.
Oop. Yeah.
But I mean, Luka Doncic is the MVP favorite according to Vegas. He's going to carry them to he's going to carry the fuck out of this team. He has to. Hardaway Jr. will be okay. Maybe Porzingis plays better. Who knows? Probably not. But he's going to play like Porzingis. And they have a bunch of random guys around him, like they always do. Kleba and Brunson and all the Mavericks regulars. Why? I mean, why not? So sell me on hating the Dallas Mavericks, because
we'll get there.
Hateable franchise, I'd say. They're not very likable right now.
We'll get there in a minute. But who do you have at the 6th seed then?
Golden State.
Okay, I have Portland.
Oh, you're higher on Portland than probably most people, and especially me.
Yeah, my thing with Portland, I mean, Damian Lillard is still going to give you almost 30 points per game. CJ McCollum will give you, 20-something a game as well, too. I like the addition of Larry Nance Jr. That was one of their better additions.
What do you make of Damian Lillard potentially hinting that he wanted out in the offseason?
I mean, if he wants out, then throw this away.
Well, I mean, he didn't formally request a trade, but there was definitely a month period where it was getting reported that he didn't want to play for the Blazers, or he wanted out. He wanted a new situation. He wanted them to look for a trade.
I don't think it happens yet. I don't think it's something that's going to happen like at the deadline or anything like that.
But do you think it affects Portland's season, just the fact that they haven't changed much. Their roster hasn't changed much in the past 6 years, and now Lillard potentially wants out. Do you think that affects his play?
No, because I don't think Lillard's the kind of guy that's going to go out there and moan and piss and moan and whatever, and just kind of just mope around. And I think he's still going to be Damian Lillard. And this is a guy that, I mean, he clearly loves Portland. He likes being there. And he wants to be the best player he can be for this team. And I don't know. I don't think that really is going to do anything. Like I said, I think the Damian Lillard trade is inevitable, but I don't think it's something that, I don't think he's the kind of guy that's going to force himself out at, the deadline or something. And who knows? Maybe there still is a CJ McCollum trade somewhere in there, or a Nurkic trade or anything like that. I don't think the moves are – I mean, there's potential for moves there. It's just the GM holding back on it. But
ownership,
I'm gonna give Portland the 6.
Okay.
Who do you have at the 7?
I have Memphis. I'm not crazy on Memphis, but I think they're a solid team, and I think Morant gets better. Jaren Jackson just got paid. I think he'll be a little bit better this season. Mm-hmm. They made a move that I don't like. They gave up Valanciunas, who is Adams, arguably their best player in the playoffs, maybe.
Yeah.
When they were in the playoffs. But yeah, Steven Adams is all right. Not great. Not Valanciunas, I don't think. But and they have a bunch of guys who I think will just scrap and claw. And I also am not crazy about the teams that follow it. So that was the biggest reason for putting Memphis 7th.
My 7th seed is Dallas.
Okay,
Like
I
I
thought you were
said,
gonna
I
put him
mean,
out of the playoffs.
no. Them being good, I think. I mean, because Luka's gonna have a great
An
season. I mean,
engine.
that's
He'll be like Harden in before Chris Paul got there.
and
He'll
then
just be
them
carrying them.
and then them being good really just kind of counts on everybody else, and I don't have a
Yeah.
lot of faith in Kristaps Porzingis. He really sucked in the playoffs, and then not only did he really suck, I think the chemistry might be off. I hear that him and Luka don't really like each other. Um,
Who does like Chris Kristaps?
right,
He
and then
got beat up in his own home country.
oh yeah,
When
he
the
was like
Knicks
a
the Knicks
oh
traded
my
him. He got beat
god,
up by Knicks fans in his own country of Latvia. Like no one
Jesus.
likes that guy.
I don't like the Jason Kidd hire at all, really.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Reggie Bullock is cool, I guess, but really,
Yeah, he's
like,
a cool dude.
they didn't make any moves this summer to,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Which
believe
is
they were the
why I put
seventh
them
seed,
at the fifth seed. I think they're just going to stand pat, kind of, and
right?
not do
Because
whatever.
they were the seventh seed last year, I believe, so or the sixth seed or something, and I feel
Six.
okay just leaving them at the seventh seed. Like I said, it's going to require everybody else around Luka to be good, and I don't really have a lot of faith in that.
Yeah.
Moving on to the eighth seed, who do you have?
I have a pick that you're probably not going to like, but they've done it before, and I think they'll do it again. It's the Los Angeles Clippers playing without their star player.
Oh, I have the Clippers at the eighth seed.
Okay.
Where else was I
don't
going to
know if
have
that
them? You
was.
think I was going to take them out of the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought they've lost their best player, and not only their best player, a player that they rely on heavily offensively when
Yeah,
he is in the game, and
yeah.
obviously defensively he brings a lot. But their main scorers are going to have to be Paul George, Reggie Jackson,
Who Paul George was
Marcus
great.
Morris,
I mean, he was
Luke Kennard,
amazing in the
and
playoffs last season.
that's not a huge recipe for success. But Tyronn Lue, I think, has proven objectively that he's a good coach. He can coach guys up. And I think he will coach them up. And again, I'm not crazy about the teams that follow them.
Right.
So
yeah, no, I think that like Terrence Mann has opportunity to take a jump this season too. Reggie Jackson. I mean, I don't expect Reggie Jackson to play 82 games of what he was in the playoffs, but Reggie Jackson being solid, Paul George being Paul George, all that.
Yeah. Well, Bobby Schmurda's been freed from prison, so that gives like a Reggie Jackson morale boost.
Exactly.
And he's going to go off and put up MVP numbers.
Yeah, the Clippers at the 8th seed, who could be a dangerous 8th seed too if Kawhi comes back.
If Kawhi comes back,
the season starts, because those two, a rematch between the Clippers and Utah could be interesting then with a healthy Kawhi and Paul George.
They didn't have healthy Kawhi.
Just Kawhi being back. But moving on then to the play-in tournament, the 9 seed, who do you have?
Portland.
Okay.
Not crazy on Portland this year. Never am. I hate them. I hate what they stand for. They tread water. Their team hasn't changed much since 2015. They have their 3 guys and a bunch of scrubs that rotate in every year. They have a bunch of random big men that rotate in every year, like a revolving door of scrub supporting cast guys. And I just think this is the year that they just maybe they make the playoffs, but regular season, I think the 9th seed is a good spot for Portland.
Okay. I have the Memphis Grizzlies, a team I'm
I
not
don't hate that.
as high on as you, but I expect them for the next 4 or 5 years or so to be a mainstay in the playoffs, And my reasoning for this is they lack I want to see a move for either like a Terrence Ross type guy or like a Eric Gordon or something like that, because you saw in that series against Utah that they needed bench scoring, like desperately needed bench scoring. And they don't have a lot of depth at the wings either. You got
they
guys
have a bunch of random guys,
guys like Kyle Anderson and Dylan Brooks or whatever that. But you need a guy, like I said, like a Terrence Ross or an Eric Gordon to give you consistent points off the bench. I feel okay putting them at the 9 seed. I don't know how I feel about I don't like the Steven Adams addition. I don't think he's going to be very good for them. Jaren
not
Jackson,
as good as Valanciunas.
Right, not as good as Valanciunas was bringing to the team. But
they
Jaren
got
Jackson,
Brandon Clark.
Brandon Clark's solid too.
Jarrett Culver he's sort of a rehab project at this point. He hasn't done much of anything to impress anyone.
Yeah, he was bad.
Zaire Williams might actually get minutes, probably not, but I think he's a plus. And then DeAnthony Melton was surprisingly good. I didn't think he was going to amount too much. Yeah, Tyus Jones is all right. I hate Tyus Jones, but I can't deny that he's a contributor.
Romeo Weems.
Oh, yeah.
Our DePaul guy. Yeah.
MVP candidate Romeo Weems will carry them to finals.
Rooting for him because he went
to
our
alma
mater.
Yeah.
No, maybe we can get him on the podcast one of these days.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be nice. But moving on to the 10 seed, the last spot in the play-in, who do you have?
Minnesota.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. This is counting on everybody being healthy. They were good when, you had D'Lo and Cat on the floor together, but it's just a matter of getting them on the floor together. Anthony
Edwards will be the make or break for them. If he can improve on last season, I see no reason why they can be a solid enough team to make the play-in.
Yeah. Between guys like D'Lo, Edwards, Malik Beasley, McDaniels, Cat. I think people have forgotten how good Karl Anthony Towns really is just because he's had the injury issues and, he's been stuck winning 22 games a year in Minnesota. But if that team is healthy, I definitely see them being that 10 seed. And who do you have at the 11?
Don't love it, but I have New Orleans.
Me too. This is another team that, like I said, I really, really want them to be good. But Zion's already hurt.
Yeah, he looks – have you seen the pictures of his rookie season compared to him now?
Yeah.
He's bulked up.
He's put some weight on.
Even more than he was, and he was bulky.
Yeah, exactly.
He is big dude now.
Yeah, Big Mac Biombo.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Big Gumbo.
There was a thread on Twitter of just calling him. They called him Kyrie Irvings.
Yeah, Shastili O'Neal.
Yeah, Shastili O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, all of that. Yeah, no, but I thought he was supposed to try to slim down, but I saw that picture from his rookie season compared to now, and he's put some weight on. And like I said, he's already hurt, and that team's on their third head coach in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell Griffin's doing over there. He's gonna get fired if he doesn't stop fucking around with their head coaching hires.
I don't even know if they even stay in New Orleans in the next few years.
Oh, I think they do. I think they're gonna. I don't know. I think expansion or moving franchises is not as random as people, or is more random than people think. It's not just oh, they're shit, let's move them. Like if that was the case, then the Kings wouldn't be in Sacramento anymore.
Yeah,
and I know that people have tried. But they have some good guys. Ingram is obviously one of the most underrated players in the league.
He took a step back last season, though.
I think he's still a good scorer. They have Devontae Graham, who's pretty good. Trey Murphy showed out in the preseason from Virginia. He's good. Jackson Hayes, as much of a crybaby as he is, he's pretty damn.
Jonas Valanciunas.
They have Valanciunas, Josh Hart, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Who I love the Jonas Valanciunas fit next to Zion. Whenever that comes to be, because when the Pelicans got Steven Adams, legit, the first thing in my mind, I was just like. So I was like, when Zion puts his back to the basket, I was like, where exactly is Steven Adams going to go?
Right.
It's not like he's going to go kick it out to the three-point or anything.
He's going to go set a hard off-ball screen on nobody.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. But no, there's a lot of pieces.
They're younger guys. They're really young guys. Kira Lewis Jr. I think could be really good. Herb Jones I think could be underrated, and Najee Marshall, Jose Alvarado.
Najee Marshall, he's an Xavier guy.
Xavier, yeah.
I remember when DePaul beat them in the Big East tournament. Yeah, no, he was a good
one
player.
That didn't happen.
Hey, we won that one game.
We won the tournament. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, we did last win.
Team that won the tournament. So
yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I said, this is a team that I want to be good. But between Zion being injured, the head coaching stuff. A couple other guys. Jackson Hayes has had injury issues as well too. I think they're still a few years away from that, and that might cost them everything. Going on to the 12 seed, then who do you have?
Sacramento.
I have San Antonio.
Okay. I think San Antonio is so unbelievably boring that I have to underrate them maybe.
But I think somebody on this team is going to take a jump, whether it be DeJounte Murray or Keldon Johnson
Eldon
or
Johnson probably if I had to pick anyone.
Derek White or any of those guys. I mean, I think just based off of that, and I mean, at this point, who fucking cares? But I mean, they might be a game or two ahead of Sacramento.
That's a good point. Who fucking cares about San
Right.
Antonio? The only thing interesting about them is Popovich somehow
Right.
holding on for dear life because who knows why he's coaching? He's coaching not to be in the lottery. Like,
Right.
what are you doing,
Yeah.
Pop? You could trade yourself to Utah or something so that we can root
basketball
for you.
hell. Yeah. So is San Antonio your 13th seed then?
Yeah. They're
Okay.
literally in San Antonio is the textbook definition of basketball hell right now. Them and probably Washington, I'd say.
100%.
Maybe New Orleans. But they're just not appealing at all.
Nope.
Losing Aldridge and DeRozan.
Right.
And now they have no idea. What's their identity? Like, what do they do? When San Antonio goes out and plays basketball, like, what are they looking at? Are they like, they're slow? They take mid-range jumpers more than most teams. Like, they're just fucking boring. They're really uninspiring.
Yeah, no, I agree. And unfortunately,
I'm starting to hate them.
That's who I have to go watch if I want to go watch games live now, because I am an hour and some change away from San Antonio now.
Yeah.
So, like, legit, I'm already looking at tickets for when the Bulls come to town, and I'm going to go watch the Lakers as well, too. But no, I might be watching a lot of San Antonio basketball this season.
Basketball, yeah.
Right. So then,
maybe you'll see some bats.
Maybe.
They have a lot of bats down there in the stadium.
We have a lot of bats in Austin, too, though.
I've seen that. Have you been to that bridge?
Yeah, I work like right around the corner from that.
Yeah, that bat bridge.
No. But yeah, no, my 13 seed was the Kings.
Yeah, okay.
They're gonna break the playoff drought one day, but that's not it. Do you think they go 20 years without seeing the playoffs? Because this would be, I think, the 17th year without going to the playoffs. I can't
predict 3 years from now,
which is really sad. But like, it's Sacramento.
I mean, probably, yeah.
It's like they've been the worst drafting team of the last probably 15 years. You know, like when you look at a lot of the draft busts that have come over the past 10 years, and just the guys that they've chosen people over.
Maybe Cleveland, only because they lucked into 2 first picks in Kyrie and Wiggins, and then they drafted the all-time bust Anthony Bennett.
But I don't know. I feel like all of the busts that the Kings have drafted outweighs Anthony Bennett. Because at least out of Anthony Bennett, you got Kevin Love.
Well, they drafted Boogie. Did they not?
Yeah,
and
but
they drafted.
What did that lead to?
They I don't know if this was probably luck or whatever, but they drafted Isaiah Thomas last, so that was like the all-time value pick. They drafted De'Aaron Fox, which wasn't a complete fuck up.
I guess, but yeah, that's their only good pick of the last 10 years. I mean, they picked Marvin Bagley over Luka. They picked
what about Orlando? And if you're talking 10 years,
I still
think no one.
I still think the Kings are worse. They picked fucking Nick Stauskas over, I believe.
They picked Jimmer Fredette over everyone.
Yeah, they picked Jimmer. 1 pick before Klay Thompson.
Oh boy.
And 3 picks before Kawhi Leonard.
Not good.
No, so I think they're the worst drafting team, and I don't.
They got a cool new stadium though. So. Yeah, 2 years ago, they have this really cool stadium.
Didn't even know that. I don't know.
It has its own built-in Wi-Fi.
Whoa. I think that was just a move to try to just keep them in Sacramento. I mean, I don't know what the hell they're doing there. I mean, there's young guys on the team that I do like. I like De'Aaron Fox. I love Tyrese Halliburton, one of my favorite young guys in the league right now.
The best backcourt nickname, the War Machine, Fox and Halliburton.
Huh. I like that.
No one's gonna call him that, but I saw that on Reddit, I think.
Yeah, so. But I mean, I don't see him sniffing even the play-in game yet. Moving on to the 14 seed, who do you have?
Houston.
I have the Thunder.
Okay.
I mean, I think Shea. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we don't have to debate that one. I think Shea's better than anybody on the Houston team, and I think just between that and Josh Giddey and other guys like Darius Baisley or
Dorcher Chamber,
Lou Dort, I like Lou Dort, Yeah,
I
and
just
then
think they're just treading water, and Presti doesn't even want them to win games.
right,
Hired
yeah,
Mark Daignold or whatever. I'm not even going to bother learning how to pronounce his last name because he's going to be fired before they're relevant.
exactly.
So apologies to Mark Daignold or whatever the fuck his name is, but
Right, and then
he's yeah,
15 seed. It's the
Houston.
Rockets. Like I said, it's another team just like Orlando that their
They have some cool
priority isn't
dudes.
their priority is not winning basketball. They
Yeah.
might be an interesting league pass team. I'm going to tune in to watch. Jalen Green and
Okay, yeah, Jalen Green and
guys like that. But
Porter,
yeah, Kevin Porter Jr.,
Jayshawn Tate.
Jayshawn Tate. Guys like
They've
that.
drafted like a slew of rookies that people are high on for some reason. Sengun
Mhm.
from Spain, I think, and
Yeah,
couple other guys. But yeah, they'll be competing. They'll be competing for the draft Chet Holmgren Bowl.
right. Yeah,
Chet
but really,
Holmgren or Benchero for Duke.
yeah, but yeah, no, like I said, a team that we don't have to say much about them. I mean, their priority isn't winning basketball. They're trying to develop the young guys and get pile on some more picks, and like I said, win the Chet Holmgren lottery here.
Yeah.
Oh, but those are our predictions, everybody. Please let us know in the comments how wrong we are and why
Or how
we're
right
wrong,
we are,
or
because
how right we are.
I'm
Yeah,
going to be 100% right. I don't know about by you're not going to be right by comparison, but mine will be 100% right. You can take that to the bank. This is This is not a prediction. This is just like looking into the future. So
man, when the Celtics are the 3 seed, I do not
yeah,
want
when Jason Kidd wins Coach of the Year and he's the darkest horse of all time, come back to me and I will talk all my shit.
right.
So.
Yeah, but like we said, that's the episode. Those are all of our predictions for the Eastern and Western Conference. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to hit that thumbs up, comment down below, let us know, like I said, how wrong we are, or just talk shit to us about predicting your team to be the 7 seed or whatever. But yeah, and like I said, we did it. This is the last day before we have basketball back, and we will be back tomorrow to talk about the Bucks and the Nets and the Lakers, and it's the Lakers Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Yep. We'll be back for that. So make sure you subscribe and hit those notifications so you do not miss a thing. We will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.